So we got an interesting chapter of Dragon Ball Super Manga chapter 53. See certain plot points that were set up in the previous chapters come to life in this one. Most importantly, finally the usage of Gohan. Although I won't lie, I was kind of disappointed how Piccolo got done dirty once again. I mean, yes, I get it. You want to highlight how strong these guys are, but don't do it at the expense of developed characters like Piccolo. Piccolo was well used in the previous chapter, so I guess that's as good as we're going to get in this arc for Piccolo. So it sucks. And plus the mention of Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin in the previous chapter. That's where we start off with this at the lookout. And apparently they get briefed by Bulma on what's going on. Krillin's like, yo, I was the only one that was available because I was free. And then Jocko shows up. I did find it hilarious how it's like, oh, and Krillin mentions, oh, Tien, we can't get a hold of because he doesn't have a phone. We can't get in touch with Gohan because he has a conference, or after that, I'm sure he'll swing by. That kind of puts the doubt in people's mind about Gohan, but at the same time, it's like, what if? Then Jocko shows up, and I love how before then, Krillin's like, should I bring Yamcha along? Like, tease the living crap out of that, but I doubt that was ever going to be a thing, but I can guarantee, like, the people of the Yamcha fandom was like, yeah, let's do it. So no, Jocko comes along, says, I thought you could bring some reinforcements. Like, wow, he's really roasting the life out of Krillin and Piccolo. It's like, this is all we have left. The Eska was also brought that shit, the little Namekian, who is pretty much the elder of the Namekians right now, has a interesting reunion with Dende. So that was kind of cool. I'm pretty sure they're going to use the Earth Dragon Balls to revive Namek and everybody else, just because it just makes sense. And then Pastor of the Macaroni gang actually brings up the fact, oh, you're not going to stand a chance against Moro. He already gave word in the previous chapter. Moro's henchmen are on their way. This is where we get the build up to, like, some of the subordinates of Sangambo. One of the main subordinates of, but these are not even the main underlings, like these the underlings of sidekick of Moro. So that's kind of cool how they're being built up. We go to a ship where I guess they're being called the Galactic Bandits, right? We see Shimareka and we see Yumba, Shimareka, and 7-3 actually conversing, getting their interaction. So we get to learn more about them. So that was pretty cool. They're trying to build these guys up. Curious about Earth, and then 7-3 kind of like reads, oh, 4032, Green Earth. So it was nothing of value when we got locked up in patrol prison. So that was before then. Now it's kind of different. And Yumba, I guess, I like the Majin Buu of the crew because he's hungry and all that. So he says, let's stop by elsewhere and get something to eat first off. And this is where 7-3, the lookalike of Hit, gets hyped up by Jocko. It's like, oh, that's going to be a problem. Krillin's like, yo, we got Piccolo and Gohan, so we'll be fine. And then Jocko's like, yo, I'm out of here, so you do what you got to do, I'm out of here. Bulma's like, no, you're sticking around because you got information, so you need to share. Which is the one to watch out for is 7-3, the Hit lookalike. So then it cuts to an unknown planet. We don't find out what planet it is. It's the fact that the inhabitants, the people there, look like foxes with Super Saiyan 3 hair. They get demolished because apparently 7-3 has the ability to copy his opponents by grabbing their necks. So because you see some hair growing out of his back, and then he just uses that to shoot his opponent. So that's pretty cool. It's funny to me because people like posting out like, oh, he's like Captain Ginyu. Like, no, he doesn't inhabit people's bodies like Ginyu did. He copies his abilities and then uses them as his own. I think that's pretty cool. Ginyu. So this is why I don't go out my way to check out leaks. I don't go out my way to check out chapters until we get dialogue, until we get sourceful information that's accurate, which is why I wait for it to come out on Viz Media every single month. So everybody's like dumbfounded about copy abilities. Even though they got warned, it still didn't help them in this fight. Because this is where it looked like we were going to get another training arc on Earth. Because it looked like, how long would it take them for them to arrive? And Jocko says 10 days. Unfortunately, it doesn't last that long because I guess 7-3 has the ability to open up wormholes or pocket dimensions because they arrive on the lookout instantly. But it's like he can copy their abilities for like 30 minutes. So Piccolo's like, we have to hold out until then. So he has a wormhole that they popped out of. So 7-3, more importantly, are on Earth, and now we get the battle rages on that we thought was going to take place. 7-3, and Jacko screams like 7-3, and I like how Bulma, Krillin, and Piccolo are dumbfounded by the situation. It's like, oh, what the hell? You're supposed to be here in 10 days. The betrayal, once again, the Macaroni gang, I guess, pastors, like, I guess Shima Rekka's like, I have a message directly from Moro. He says, I don't like insubordination, so you're done. We don't need you anymore. He was about to kill him, and Piccolo stops it, so I like that. And then Piccolo's like, badass, like, no killing in the sanctuary. The chance to fight against 7-3. Unfortunately, he got done dirty personally. It's like, oh, there's other characters you could have used to like copy their abilities and then have him fight Piccolo. Because of a broken ability, he doesn't have limitations on stamina either. He's like, he can copy any time and it lasts for 30 minutes, and you have to hold out. Because all he has to do is grab a hold of somebody's neck, which he did easily. It wasn't the fact he already copied his abilities. Speed Blitz is right up next to Piccolo, grabs his throat, copies his abilities instantly. He fires a special beam cannon instantly. The moment he grabs Piccolo's abilities, he misses, of course. I don't know if he did that intentionally. Kind of remind me of what Boo did. And he got ticked off because he wasn't waiting anymore. He blasted a hole right through Piccolo, right beneath his feet. Very similar. And Jocko gets punched off the lookout, but he uses his boots to, like, I guess, catch himself in midair, so that's kind of cool. Piccolo flies off to try and land the hand, but it's like, you can fly already. So we've seen these boots before. We saw Miras using them. Krillin ends up fighting Yumba, I guess the polar bear, or Beppo, from it's the Dragon Ball Super version of Beppo from One Piece. So that's kind of funny to me. So it's cool that Krillin and Piccolo are getting fights, but like I said, I think they could have been executed better when it comes to, especially when it comes to Piccolo, was brought back into the spotlight, and now here we are having Piccolo done dirty again. It's like, what happened with the Tournament of Power? Similar. Once again, Piccolo's on the sidelines by the end of this chapter, so that kind of sucks. If you realize this, Piccolo's like, oh, I messed up, I let my guard down, and then Jocko's like, even though I warned you, but then 7-3 ends up extending his half like Piccolo, so Piccolo does the same to counteract it. So that's kind of cool. It might have been foreshadowed in the previous chapter when one of the Macaroni gang, I think it was the female, was able to do that against Piccolo. Shifts over to the different area on Earth, so that's where they butt heads, literally butt heads. Cool. I find it's cool because even Jacko's being forced to fight now. So he ends up fighting Shima Rekka, so that's kind of cool. I guess 7-3 and Piccolo like exchange blasts, key blasts. 7-3's getting the better of Piccolo because he doesn't lose stamina. So this, you failed to mention that before. That would have been a big help, but no. And then we get a comedy gag with Bulma and Mr. Satan. Where Bulma's like, aren't you going to help them, Mr. Satan, because Krillin can't handle this. I mean, no surprise there. But it's like, you follow straight through the lookout, there's a hole in the floor, and then Krillin gets set through it, and then Mr. Satan's like, yo, I'm going to help out. So, has abilities similar to Boo. It's a shame that Boo's asleep right now, the real Boo. Yumba, like, I guess he bounces around like a ball, sends Krillin through the lookout. And this is where Bulma, they get to a different area on Earth, so obviously keeps away from the lookout. But it doesn't matter because Mr. Satan and Eska, and then they like give chase. It's like, yo, we need to help them out. So I don't think that's real smart. They're in the crossfire pretty much, so they can, especially since we know how Moro can like feed off life energy of humans. Bulma could be used as a hostage pretty much if it comes to that. So yeah, it's cool that Mr. Satan wants to try and do something, especially with what happened with Boo. But it's like, no, it's a problem. It's going to be a problem. And then Piccolo and 7-3 exchange special beam cannons. Piccolo can't handle it because obviously he's losing power, where 7-3 has another 30 minutes on him, or depending on how much time has passed, has a lot more stamina than Piccolo. It's crazy, his abilities, though. I love how the build up. Like I said, I wish it's cool how they're using Krillin and Piccolo, like I mentioned. However, I just think they could have been utilized a little bit better than this. It's looking like Piccolo is about to get killed off, and that's where he gets saved. We don't get to see how, but then it cuts to like Jocko. Like, what the hell? And then finally, Gohan makes his return. He reappears. I thought this might happen We got it. He's in his nerdy outfit, but instead of save Gohan, but you need to watch out. This guy 7-3, he has the ability to copy people. And I love how Piccolo actually points out that Gohan is the strongest on Earth right now. And this is where we cut to the, I guess, the pyramid training place. I guess the bootleg of the hyperbolic time chamber. It still looks like a pyramid of Egypt. So again, I think that's a reference. We go to where Goku and Beerus are training. Of course, Goku's getting his ass kicked, and he can't attain Ultra Instinct. And this is where Goku's doubting that he had the ability to awaken it in the first place. And this is where we get more insight into what Ultra Instinct was achieved. Beerus like, you only awakened it through crisis. Extreme danger, right? And that was against, of course, against Jiren. Yeah, and that's what you need to do. According to Beerus, you need to put yourself in that mindset, which makes sense, and it does have throwback to like what happened with Luffy. No spoiler alert for those who don't read the manga, but in One Piece, Luffy has to master Rio Haki, an advanced version of mindset where his friends are in crisis and he needs to do something about that. So it's kind of like the same thing here, where Goku has to put himself in that mindset, even though technically speaking, he should be void of any emotion when he's awake in Ultra Instinct. Again, I guess the mysteries with Beerus continues, and it's obvious there's a connection with the Angel, more specifically with Whis. More people have been bringing this out as a discussion videos. I've noticed this throughout the month. I didn't think there was a need to make a discussion. I think there was a reason to make a discussion video out of this because it was kind of obvious after chapter 51. There was obviously a connection with the Angels. I made that connection the moment I saw it. And the first thing I noticed is the place they're training. I failed to mention this in the previous review, but the training right now is like the hyperbolic time chamber or a copy of it. So a place devoid of any space and time, right? That's pretty much what Beerus said. The fact that they won't mention the planet they were on, I think is telling as well. And even the narrator said it's in a training world cut off. It's like cut off from the outside world. The moment I saw that in the previous review, I should have pointed it out, but back in the Resurrection of F arc, when Goku and Vegeta are training, but Whis or Beerus literally says to Whis, send them off to that place. We don't get to find out where it is, but we do know it's another world cut off on the outside world. We sent them there by the stamp of his staff, and then boom, and then that's what I think. This is anime only though. In the arc when Goku and Vegeta like, doesn't this place seem familiar to you? Like it's the room at Spirit and Time, the hyperbolic time chamber. So, and here we have literally a copy of it. So I don't know if that's the same place. We don't get to find out where. But we do know is this is how they became the fully fledged Super Saiyan Blue. So, again, more coincidence? I think not. With stuff like this, it becomes kind of obvious. There's more connections with Whis and the Angels. We don't know why. We don't know how. We just do know that there's a connection there. It doesn't need a discussion video for that to become obvious. To certain things like the fact that they won't mention the place where the training is, I think, is the biggest teller of all this. It doesn't seem like much to most, but I noticed it especially when I pay attention to detail in each chapter. So cuts immediately to Yardrat where Vegeta is trying to meditate to try and train. It's like kind of like similar to Naruto, where he's at the world Mount Mokubaku, the land of the sages, where he attained sage mode. Right here, in order to master his new abilities, we don't know what abilities he's going to master yet. Could be there's going to be a mountain of them if he manages to use spirit control. He may bring up a new technique, but Vegeta's having trouble meditating. In fact, I don't think we've ever seen Vegeta train by meditating ever. He may have done it once in the room at Spirit and Time, but other than that, I can't really recall. And even Vegeta's like, this isn't for me. I can't train like this. I'm regretting coming here. And he gets triggered even more. But by the way, you might want to know when Goku was here, he was standing up on this spike on this pole meditating for like 150 days. Like he was doing it like no problem. And you see this Yardratian actually standing on his one hand, the Yardratian leader, like hand standing on one hand while maintaining his balance, and Vegeta can't even do that. So Goku hype, and it's cool. We get more stuff with Goku's training when he spent the year on Yardrat. So that's kind of cool. He didn't. Oh, he didn't just pick up its instant transmission right away. He had to train for it. So Vegeta has to do the same thing now. So he doesn't get Vegeta and Goku in the spotlight right now. It gives them something to do. It gives the side characters something to do. And this is why we've got Gohan. I kind of wish we got Android 17 because I don't think Krillin can handle Yumba. I just don't. So he may show up as well, but it's cool that Gohan is definitely showing up, stepping up. And regardless, they actually highlighted Gohan as more of a threat because in the manga, in the Tournament of Power, he actually drew with Kefla, which is crazy to me. So maybe he's going to do something decent, I hope, before Goku and Vegeta initially arrive. And the fact that they mentioned that subordinates of Sangambo, it's probably going to be Moro and Sangambo versus Goku and Vegeta, which is why they're having separate training right now. It just makes sense. But Goku spoiled his Ultra Instinct right now. That's going to be revealed for his fight with Moro, which I don't have a problem with him re-raking it as long as they have him actually finish off Moro. Against Jiren, it didn't last. So Goku has yet to finish off his opponent in Ultra Instinct, and technically the only one he's ever finished was Kami Oren, technically speaking, and that was a spin-off of Super Dragon Ball Heroes. So, like I said, I don't have a problem with reawakening it as long as it leads to something, because otherwise it's just a use. Otherwise, it's just all that hype was built for nothing when you could have had Vegeta, who's literally training his ass off to like master a new technique, which could be influential on bringing down Moro. I think the fact that it's called Spirit Control is telling us it's going to be something to counteract his life absorbing technique. So it has to lead to that. And the only thing that makes sense, because I don't see Vegeta being, as much as I want to be wrong, proven wrong here, and then giving the win to Vegeta finally, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think this is going to lead to either a fusion or Goku and Vegeta actually teaming up to take out Moro. I don't think it's going to be Vegeta by himself. So, unfortunately, the mysteries of Mira's kind of continue. The more they do that, the more it's obvious. We don't even know why he wants to keep this a secret. In the previous chapters, like, good, I can reveal my true identity without actually revealing to the rest of the Galactic Patrol why. Anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like this review if you did. Subscribe to more Dragon Ball Super. Catch you guys later. Thanks, guys. Bye.